Going on 8th grade, we got ourselves another mathematical video that I'm sure will excite you and cause you such joy that you will want to share it with all of your friends. Mrs. LeBeau should have, ladies and gentlemen, a handout for you. Let me see if I can see what it looks like. It looks like what I have on the screen right here, but I'll give you the one on the paper. Looks like this, nice in color. Excuse me, I have to sneeze here in a minute. Here we go. So today we're talking about scatterplots. The scatterplot really comes about when, not always when you enter data, do you always get a linear equation, like we've been talking about. We've done a lot with linear, this is just, it's called scatterplots because when you graph things, they kind of appear scattered, okay? For example, you could make a line plot out of, like, let's say this one here is, you could make this the amount of time study time, and maybe this is your percent grade. Well, obviously, the more you study, the higher your grade is, but it's not going to be an exact line for everybody because everybody's a little bit different. So this is more about definitions than anything. So when you do scatter plots, you really have 3 different choices of things that can happen. Okay, either they have this, which says positive correlation, and positive correlation just means that you can see, okay, that as one goes up, the other one goes up. Okay, it's basically you end up with a positive slope. Now, the second one is it goes the other way, and you can tell as things go on, it goes downhill. It's a negative slope. And then option number 3 is you just get a bunch of dots that don't seem to make any heads nor tails, no relationship. That's no correlation. No correlation. So that's pretty simple here. Forging ahead here. Now, as you look at this, the book will ask you, and we talk about, when we come up with these, we talk about trend lines. Okay, and basically what a trend line is, you don't get a specific linear line. The dots don't all line up in a straight line. However, since you can see a correlation, you will be asked to, let me see if I can get a line here. You'll be asked to kind of split the difference in all of those and come up with, a line that kind of, they call it the line of best fit. So for example, this one here, let's pull this up here. If you were trying to, whoa, let's see what happened here. If you were trying to take all these dots and put half on top, half on bottom, you're going to kind of try to look, something like this. This would be if I were doing a line of best fit, and you can kind of adjust it a little bit. Maybe something like this. I don't know. But the nice thing about this, ladies and gentlemen, is there's no exact right or wrong answer. And when you use these scatter plots, really what they'll be asking you to do is to predict some answers. And that's the best you can do because it's only going to be a guess. So this one, I would say my line of best fit would look something like this. For this one over here, if I were doing a line of best fit, maybe something like this. And you can agree to disagree. I'm sure some of you right now are thinking that I have no idea what's going on here. And I don't know what this graph is about. Maybe the temperature and how much you spend to heat your house, and they could say, if the temperature is, well, maybe this is, well, it's Celsius, so maybe it's how much to cool your house. If it's 24 degrees Celsius, predict, how much money you would spend to do this. Well, you look and see, go right up here, it crosses somewhere closer to 600 than 500. So you could predict maybe it was $560 or something like that. Or, you know, predict if it was 10 degrees Celsius, you'd have about $100. So there's your line of best fit. It's a positive correlation. This last one, let's go with a new and unique color. So here, if I'm doing this one here, oh, this one here apparently is how old you are and how much it cost your parents per year for you. See, if you're 1 year old, you know, you'd have had your doctor's bills and all that stuff, and you have to buy diapers and formula. And then as you get to be 10 years old, you know, you're not paying for anything more than maybe food and clothes, and you know, maybe you got daycare stuff in here, blah 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 blah. So my line of best fit, I'm going to change it a little bit. I try to get, looks more like this. Don't you think? Think that's looking better? We think, Caroline, does that look good? Probably something like that. Sure. Also, at some point, ladies and gentlemen, and I hate to tell you this, at some point they would also ask you, and this is where things get really snarky, you know, they might ask you to actually give the equation of this, you know, the linear equation for this, which you could do. All you need to know, if you're doing y equals mx plus b, you know, you would just need to know where it crosses the y-axis over here, which, let's just for fun say it crosses at $10,000. And then you'd have to give the, try to find the slope of this line, which, you know, here's how we could do it. We could just make the triangle. Let's say we go over from 9,000, and 9,000 is right at 1. So my first point, I'll just find another point where I think I can use, can I get 5,000 to cross anywhere decent? Yeah. Let's say 5,000 crosses right here at 6. So here would be my triangle. Remember, slope is rise over run. It went from 9,000, went from 5,000 to 9,000, so my rise is $4,000, and my run is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So my slope would actually end up being 800, and that would be a negative slope. So your equation would look like this. You know, to figure out how much money it costs you for a kid, it is negative $800 times x plus 10,000. So at 0 years, it would cost you 10,000, and it drops $800 every year. Now this is only good for a certain while, because obviously if you went far enough over here, you'd actually end up going in negative numbers. And obviously, you know that at age 14, you are not, I repeat, you are not making your parents money, which would happen if you kept that line going. So it has its ups and its downs. I don't know if there's anything else about scatter plots to know. You know, we got the positive, negative correlations. We got trend lines. There's not anything more. It's actually kind of fun. A little bit of data kind of things there. I think I'll probably shoot at you a couple IXL things for you to do, and I think you'll probably be pretty happy about that. Doesn't get any better than that, huh? I wish all math things were just that easy, but unfortunately, that's not it. Have a great day, 8th grade. We'll talk to you later.